Well, welcome to the Inventors Arena. I'm Ed, and this is Scott. And today we're going to discuss a fun subject, the Scrub Daddy. Scott, what do you know about that?
Well, Scrub Daddy is one of the most successful products to come out of the Shark Tank arena. There have been, I think, only 2 or maybe 3 products that have generated more revenue in the entire history of Shark Tank. And if my statistics are correct, I think Scrub Daddy is approaching the $1 billion mark in sales. It is significant. Now, it's created by an inventor, and it was a successful inventor who had another product line. I think it was card detailing products that he sold to 3M Corporation successfully. But being an inventor, you're looking for the next thing.
You can't stop.
Yeah, so you get addicted to it once you do that, and particularly when you've had some success.
Yeah, that helps.
And I think the Scrub Daddy idea that he created was a combination of taking an existing product but using the right materials that the marketplace was looking for. But it also was successful because it needed some money, and Shark Tank's Laurie Greiner came up with the first investment to help bring that along, and then introduced it onto the QVC marketplace, and within a week it generated like 40,000 product sales.
That makes quite a difference when you get the funding and you get all the help you need, right? That's super good.
But we also talk about what makes something a success.
Yeah.
And we have a unique design, so maybe you can show what the Scrub Daddy looks like. So the little smiley face, washing your dishes, if that's what you're using it for, is not something most people look forward to and throughout the day. But if you have a little smiley face looking at you as you're scrubbing the dishes or scrubbing the wheels with your car, yeah. So from a branding perspective, and we're very big on branding, I think that, plus if you want to hold up the box to show as well, I mean, most people will recognize this box, whether they're walking through your local grocery store or they even sell these at the Home Depot. So it takes a combination to get on a store shelf of having a great product, a great idea, the investment money behind you, and good packaging and branding.
Yeah, with the branding, like that Scrub Daddy, that's pretty memorable, right? Yeah, that makes for a great product when you have all those things together, and that's generally how it can get on store shelves and on everybody's sink, right? Is having that right combo. So I think it's an excellent example, since we can closely relate to it, right? We've all washed dishes and all not really liked it, and it's a product that's achieved great success, and we can look into it and see, why that is, and maybe make a little bit of learning out of it, right? And he probably got there with a pinch of luck, but it was him doing that great presentation. And if you haven't seen it, you should really go and see it. It's a great presentation, and in fact, they're negotiating between each other too. Everybody wanted it, and Laurie was kind of the best one for it, and she made a great success with the inventor on it. And so what really is it? So he had a great presentation, and it had not only a smiley face, but it had functionality, and it had structure, and it had usefulness to it, so they could go for that utility patent on it, and also for the design patents and so forth too, because it had the unique look. And when it's on that store shelf and you look and it's like Scrub Daddy, and then it's got that smiling face, what you're buying, right?
So and it's not easy to get on a store shelf.
No, absolutely not.
Very small percentage of products actually make it onto a store shelf.
Yeah,
it's a tough world. It's a very competitive environment because it's like real estate. When you go in the store, that is real estate, and to get positioned on that real estate, it's challenging.
It's all about location, right?
Yeah.
So really, what is it when you look at it? It's a functional smiley face that works. You could put a hand grip in it and scrub away. So in 2012, I think it was, when the inventor came with it and went to the Shark Show, and man, people just watched and loved that. And I mean, ever since then, it's just been a great success. And I think it's one of the things people love Shark Tank. Of course, we love Shark Tank, of course, and I think most of the viewers do. And by the way, we're not affiliated at all with Shark Tank, but
Or Scrub Daddy.
yeah, we're a big fan of both of those. So it's, you know, and you can really, I think it's fun to look at a product like that and just see the success and see kind of how to mimic that in your own, whether it be the pitch or the demonstration, all the things that went so well on the tank for him. And then look at now, the big success. Now actually he's went to different product lines and everything for it. So all things to keep in mind.
It does take a combination of, as you said, a little bit of luck and the right investor. And in this particular case, it wasn't just an investor that had money, but had the relationship with the potential sales mechanism, QVC, to get an initial start. When you can sell 40,000 units in 7 days, that is a launch.
That's some power there. And also with mentioning, you know, I tease a little bit about pinch of luck, because it truly is just a pinch. It's a pinch of luck and about that much effort, right? It's nothing generally comes that's good. That's very easy, right? So I give the inventor a lot of credit. I give Laurie and the rest of the Sharks a lot of credit too, because they've all worked hard and all been very successful in doing what they're doing. And that doesn't come easy.
It doesn't. I mean, when you think about, so when you watch Shark Tank, you don't understand everything that went on behind the scenes in the preparation to getting to that point in time.
Yes.
And a lot of people think, you know, that is just the beginning. And to some degree it is, but there's been a lot of prep work to go into making sure. And of course, that's entertainment value.
Sure.
You know, it's a show and they want viewers. So, you know, everybody is prepared behind the scenes to make sure that the people are prepared and the product is positioned the right way. So they come with branding. I mean, it's rare to see them not to appear on Shark Tank and not have their shirts, examples of their product, the sharks actually testing them, tasting them, using them. They are well prepared.
Yeah, but it's not like, I think an uninformed viewer just kind of inactively watches it and sees it goes through and it's a couple-minute presentation. And the informed viewer really knows that there's nothing impromptu about that presentation and that everything's been tested and that so much thought and just following that real good process makes for just a dynamite presentation and ultimately success if it's done right.
Yeah. You know, we have talked before in some of our videos about 12 million patents being filed with the U.S. Patent Office and only 5% actually making money from those. When you think about it, to actually create a product and bring it all the way to market where it is mass produced and mass sold and, you know, online, retail, not just singular retail like grocery stores, but the Home Depot across the board, that is a successful product.
Absolutely.
To do that. And that takes a lot of packaging, a lot of work, a lot of strategic relationships, the right funding, the right partners. There's a lot of work that goes into making that happen.
Tremendous. Yeah. And there's all different levels of success. You don't have to be the next Scrub Daddy. I mean, of course, it'd be great, but, you know, that's not maybe the level of success that you should need to feel that if you haven't achieved that you're not done, but it sure is something to shoot for, right?
And it shows what the possibilities are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the difference? You know, somebody trying to do it on their own with, you know, not much professional, you know, not this, certainly not that. You know, getting the right investor on board, what a difference, right? So often it's the case with getting access to funding and expertise like Laurie Greiner's there. And her team got that sponge put out and it's just been, this has rocketed right to the top, you know. But behind the scenes, there was all kinds of redesign and the smiley face came around along at some point. And, you know, sometimes it takes some brainstorming and oftentimes, you know, you'll be thinking of that for a sponge and all of a sudden you get that for a sponge and that just doesn't come like the snap of a fingers, right? So quite often it takes some brainstorming and takes people that are expertise. We go around to lots of inventor groups and we find that the successful ones are having these little brainstorm groups in it where they sit around the table and say, hey, I've got this sponge, but I've got this other idea and I want to make it to be something. And then in the end they say, like this, so it's really good to hit on that stuff and see if you can, help each other to do it. And, in the end, I love it too, because it's got the smiley face because it's fun, very positive, and brings a little light to your day. And from there, like I mentioned before, that they've got all kinds of different colors. They've got different products in their brand now. And so that is just great. And I would encourage all the inventors to think, first of all, of your product, and then think of product lines. Where can I go from this? Especially when it's a success like that. And then kind of what you're doing and where you're going, and you got some money, then it's nice to expand.
Well, when you think about it, Aaron, who created this, who was the inventor, created a successful product line in car care and sold it, but realized that this was a different product in a different marketplace. So he needed different mindsets, different investors. It was good that he did not view this opportunity through the same mindset that he used his first opportunity.
That's right. And that's why it's so important to get input feedback from others sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because they can open it up and they can tell you a few things about it that you wouldn't have not seen.
Yeah, it is. I would say that overall Scrub Daddy is a great example of success for an invention for one reason. If you walk down the street and you said Scrub Daddy to 10 different people, at least 9 of them would not only recognize the name, but be able to describe the product to you.
Yes.
And that's successful. Most organizations would pay dearly to get that branding, where either the logo, and if you ask, which one has the smiley face? I mean, that is unique to the brand. In fact, if you took the smiley face out of it, it probably would impact negatively upon the brand.
Yes, it would go from that.
You're back to that to this, and there are a lot of these, but very few of those, right?
Yes,
because that's a unique, branded and patented idea that is protected, and what a great success story.
Absolutely, trademark protected all the way down the line.
Yeah.
So who else? How do you get to selecting the right people to help you out on things, Scott?
Well, there are several ways you can do that. So we suggest always that everybody find a local inventors group and attend them as much as possible. They're workshops where you can learn knowledge of what you need to know. But more importantly, what we have found is there are people in the room that can help you.
Yes.
There's a mentor sitting on one side of the room who probably has overcome the struggle that you're facing right at the moment. There's probably somebody who knows your idea enough to help you move forward, whether that's a packaging person or somebody that knows an investor, or there may even be an investor sitting in the back of the room. So we have found that inventor groups are a great way to do that. We also think investors can help, and you need investment money oftentimes. But as we've said here, don't just look for somebody that has the money. If you have gaps in getting from where you're at with your idea all the way to monetization, try to find an investor that brings more than just money to the table.
Yeah.
Maybe they're very good at marketing. Maybe they're very good at marketing in a certain segment or niche that you need. Maybe they have a partnership with a distribution company. You never know, but you need to look for somebody with money and other skills that they're bringing to the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we think that. And then we're very big on mentors and mentorships. Mm-hmm. And, as we have said with many of our clients, it's a lonely journey, particularly if you're a one-person founder. And there are just days when you get discouraged.
Yeah.
And to have a mentor that you can go to and say, look, I've faced this problem. Do you have any ideas? How can I overcome this? Do you know anybody in this area that might be able to be helpful? It's important to be able to do that.
Yeah, and I think for the beginning inventors too, if you go to our website, inventorsarena.com, if you don't already have an idea what kind of things that you're going to need to do to put a product out there professionally, there's a whole list there. It's everything from, at some point, you're going to need 2D drawings, and you might want 3D drawings, and you might want a prototype, building this looks pretty easy, but I can promise you it's not,
It's
right?
not. Actually, it's different, made out of different materials than that other sponge over there.
Correct.
And that's part of its strategic advantage.
Yeah. And if you can find access to that within the Inventors group, that's fabulous. But sometimes you can't always. And so you might want to look out, start stretching your wings a little bit, look out on Google or just different areas in your hometown or cities close to you or whatever, people that just specialize in that, so you can get that professional product, right? Because even all the packaging in that, it's done professionally. That's what I mean by done professionally, and it's not easy. So
it's not. Packaging is a project in its own self.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Particularly if you're going to do retail, and you need the UPC code and everything that the stores are requiring for that. It's that's a major endeavor, and you can't just buy 50 of those. You're going to have to buy by the millions.
51.
Yeah, that's true. But you had mentioned about our website, and so what we have found is inventors know what they know, but then they don't know what they don't know. And the program that we have helps them all the way from writing that initial idea through getting the prototyping, the 2D drawings, the 3D drawings, figuring out what they need to do to protect it from patent protection, writing that business plan that the investors are going to see, practicing the pitch, figuring out the negotiation style that they want as they sit down. There's a lot to think about when it comes to all the way from that idea to how am I actually going to make money from this.
Yeah, that's why I brought up that pitch by Aaron Krause. It was just ideal. So you can check it out, the original pitch on youtube.com, and then really watch it and then pay attention to, what the pitch is and the demonstration, and then pay attention to the sharks, especially Laurie, right? And then attention like that is what you should strive for your initial investor presentation, because a deal like that can make all the difference in the world.
Exactly.
And that's why we know that the pitch is important. We know that the demonstration is important. That's why we made the course. But anyway, really fun topic today. Scott?
Yeah, I would say that to be successful in today's world, the number one style or technique to use is to tell a story.
Yes.
So no matter if you think you have a sponge and you're sitting there thinking, this is a sponge, this is dry, this is boring, how do I create this into a story that would be interesting, and not only to a potential investor, but to a buying public? So I think part of that success is the story that goes along with it.
Yes.
And that...
and how we can learn from other people's stories, right? When you watch that clip of that pitch, I mean, how much you can learn from it. And then when you start to watch it more, you're like, wow, this is in depth, right? And then you get
those are polished pitches.
Yeah.
I mean, you hardly ever see anybody, whether they get funded or not, you hardly ever see a really bad pitch on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Those people have practice. We say to our clients, it takes weeks of practice to refine it down to that point where you're telling the right story to the right person, the right way, in the right amount of time that you have to do it.
And the beauty is it goes to everything. Like, what do you do for a living? What's your product about? All these things. And it's like that, and you can tell it. And then people are like, wow, that's good. That's good. But what does that take? Lots of that effort I was talking about before.
Yeah, it does.
So how can you develop a novel product that can gain the attention of a huge audience, inventors, and consumers?
Well, there are lots of ways to do that. So typically, a lot of inventors find a problem out there where there's not a solution. And they say, why didn't anybody think of this? Or maybe somebody already thought of it and you think, well, I can make a better one. That's great. It serves part of the need, but it doesn't supply everything that's needed by the consumer. And I think I can design a better one of those.
Yeah.
And that's good. And sometimes it's not a problem at all. It's a huge opportunity that's out there. maybe AI kind of fits into that arena right now. It's like, from my perspective, AI is great. Where are we going to apply it? And there are huge opportunities out there that nobody's using right now. And you have a lot of AI companies that are thinking, okay, what's going to be my application for, this? And it's software code. That's dry, boring. You can't show it to anybody. Nobody will understand it. But if you tell them it will do this for you, wait till the day when it predicts what the stocks to buy and sell, and let's see how the SEC and the stock market responds to that one.
That's right. So I guess concluding, it's a good idea to follow those who have seen success, but still be you, right?
Yeah.
It's fun to see all the development and really to appreciate it. When you think of, this by itself in comparison to this, and then you look at the box, all the details on there and the name and everything, you start to appreciate the work that goes into stuff, and you don't just view things from the same lens that you did before.
Yeah.
Big thing, develop your pitch like we train you in the course, or you can follow along with what they've done and make it your own, and be really ready to captivate your audience, especially those investors, because they can make all the difference in the world. And believe me, they love being captivated. Look how excited when you were paying attention to the sharks, and especially Laurie. There was like, they see it and they want it, right? And you be ready and willing to work with them. That's fabulous. And be professionally prepared. It's just amazing. You have to be professional.
Yeah.
And then be your best you. I think that's so important, because it's you always got to be you and have some fun with it.
Yeah, you said be professional and be prepared. And we have found that investors can identify when you're not professional and prepared in about 7 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And so that takes a lot of work to make sure. Business plans, for example, they can look at a business plan and say, okay, this is a template that they downloaded online. They didn't have enough creativity to even create their own business plan. Put this one aside for now.
Yeah.
And you can tell that in the title page and the first page usually of it. So that's good. We had mentioned the inventors groups earlier, and we're big proponents of those. We travel the country, we speak at those, we provide workshops. We encourage everybody out there, whether you have done this before and you've been successful, or this is your second time and you have the Scrub Daddy idea that is out there, find your local inventors group, because they have all those resources that you need. And if you go to our website at theinventorsarena.com and you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have a map there that shows where all the local inventor groups are.
Correct.
Because it's important that you not go on this journey alone.
And there's also down there too is different services that we offer. Like if you need, for example, 2D drawings or something like that. There's all kinds of different stuff there that we offer that we're happy to help with.
Yeah. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our presentation on Scrub Daddy today. And if you do, we would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe.
And thumbs up.
And thumbs up. Yes.
And it really take some time this week and look at some different products and find the ones that are real interesting to you, and just think your way through of how they made it to their success, and then try to put it to use in your own project. Have a good week.
The Inventors Arena, we're here.